So let's talk some more about the evacuation situation. And joining us in the studio is a former World Bank consultant health specialist, Mr. Babatunde Ipaye. He is a public health specialist, former HIV and health advisor to the UK, DFID in Nigeria, former Commissioner for Health, Ogun State. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Melissa.
All right. Presently, according to the Foreign Affairs Minister, some of our medical experts advise that it is not essential to test, and that's before our Nigerians abroad return. But it's just enough to observe physical distancing in the plane and coming on the plane and coming back, and of course, the wearing of face masks. Would you subscribe to this?
No, of course, that is not the global standard. The expectation that people should test, especially now when you're coming from countries with high, prevalence of the disease. So that is the expectation. But of course, if that is not possible, the other options becomes, what will come into play. But I am happy that the first thing that the federal government has adopted is to have a system of quarantine rather than, expecting the returnees to maintain some degree of social distance. If you recall, it was the expectation of the government that those who returned from UK when we did not, shut down early enough, the expectation was that they needed to self-isolate. And many of those people broke, particularly people in high places, actually broke the self-isolation rule. And that is what is causing the epidemic in Nigeria today. So to expect that people will obey is to assume that the miracle will happen, especially in a country where people love to socialize.
For a number of people who want to come back are a bit skeptical and perhaps scared that they would also be, in a place, share toilets with perhaps people who might be positive with COVID-19.
My expectation, of course, we saw, what happened when the returnees came. What we saw was not what is expected, especially when Nigeria had a month, between when the international airport were closed and when the evacuation took place. It also reflects our ability not to plan effectively. Because my expectation is that when you have the kind of numbers that you have projected in a population of 200 million people, it shouldn't be difficult to isolate them in such a condition. I mean, you're talking about less than 700 Nigerians. And if the fundamental objective of government is actually the protection of life and properties, including the life of the 200 million Nigerians that are not exposed, or 190-something million Nigerians that are yet to be exposed, and the issue around social justice, I think we, Nigeria, yes, we don't have enough resources, but it is not as bad as not having resources to actually take care of those numbers. It is just about careful planning and implementation of plans. Yes,
because the government has cried about the availability of hotels as isolation centers, and we're having limited bed spaces.
Millicent,
you don't believe that?
I have engaged in, I was a commissioner in Nigeria, and so I see some of the challenges in the public space. I've also worked within the development space to see the problem in Nigeria when it comes to planning. You see, the issue around here is that we do not make enough careful projections and anticipate events. Yes, granted, Nigeria is a country where we believe in religion, and there's a lot of churches, and we know miracles do happen. But some of these things needs to be properly and carefully prepositioned, okay? Do you know the numbers of hotels in Abuja? Do you know the number of guest houses? Do you know the number of abandoned government properties everywhere in Nigeria? So what needs to have happened is that some people should have done, due diligence and to map resources that are available, and make sure that those available resources are properly utilized, about efficiency management. That's what we need to do. Because if you go to Abuja, I tell you, there are more unoccupied houses than occupied houses in some parts of Abuja.
All right.
There are more abandoned, government projects that are completed or utilized in Abuja that can be used. The other time, Catholic Hospital came out to say we have 420. These are resources that ordinarily should have been mapped some 3 weeks ago. And then when we carefully, bring everybody on board, and the kind of resources that people have generously donated, can actually respond to many of these expectations if they are efficiently managed.
All right. We appreciate your time. From a World Bank consultant health specialist, Mr. Babatunde Ipaye. Thank you for joining us on the program.
It's a pleasure.